Imagine that you could take your timeline and, like a ball of string, ball it all up so that the days no longer lined up one for one, but one day matched a different day, and another day led into another, and maybe backwards and forwards. No, not that time travel show. I'm talking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Robin.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
The Last Day, S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode 8. So, alright. We had a bunch of questions going into the season. We thought it was space travel, but it turned out to be time travel. And then on top of that, we ended up with people ending up having to take the long road to get back to save other people. Bit confusing? Yeah. Alright. Quick recap. At some point in the future, the world's quaked apart, possibly because of Quake, and the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are the only people to survive. However, at some point, Robin makes some sort of connection and makes a time travel capability. You want to know what? I have more questions than answers. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, what I do here is I review stories. I try to make them make more sense. I pull them apart. I do reviews of stories as they come out, movies, books, TV shows, and of course, I do Throwback Thursdays every Thursday for those of you that are interested, and theory videos on stories in general every Sunday. If that sounds like something up your alley, click the subscribe button and join our little community. But for now, sit down, relax, and hopefully you've already seen the episode. I'm going to throw this up here as a quick break, and then we're going to get started.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time.
So in my movie reviews and flashback Thursdays, I often talk about plot and I just skip over it because it's almost always linear. But this time we have an out of sequence story. We have a story where we're flashing back to what happened originally, and we're in the future. Oh yeah, and in the future, Max got his shotgun axe back, and in the past, Yo-Yo had it. Piecing this all together is a little hard. Enoch wasn't around. I guess he had already left when the world was destroyed, and as such, they had to go on without him. But they never really met him. Yeah, that's weird. Robin was hanging out with May because her mother died, and has been living out of sequence. Now, sometimes she tells people how people were going to die, and sometimes she just tells people that there's hope. She can see all points in time, and it's kind of weird. I have to agree with Fitz, though. How do you put up with someone describing someone you love's death? How can you blame a little kid, though, who's just seeing things? And of course, we still don't know how Quake got powerful enough to do this. And I have to agree with Fitz on something else. For all we know, this is a record skip, a self-contained time loop, and this has happened again and again and again, and there's no way to stop it. But they did design a machine that was capable of interacting with the monolith, but they needed a future piece of the monolith. And okay, my head's all screwed around crazy on time now. Okay, let's slightly switch it up, though. Let's talk about the heroes of today's episode. Mac and the kid that can control rocks and Yo-Yo take the fight to those things that I said were the Brood in the first episode. The cockroaches, they call them. And it's a pretty badass plan. They go in, they use the smoke that the Kree used to move them all into one room, and then Yo-Yo super speeds them. That one effect was probably one of the best the series has ever done. It totally is just badass Quicksilver like super speed. Of course, it also is going to just piss off Caius and the Kree, which I guess we're going to have to wait till next week to see that part resolved. So, the last day, that was a bit misnomer. However, that was also a pretty sad part of the episode. So, Robin had been living, and instead of Enoch taking care of her like when we met, May took over. Like I said, May was her mother for all intents and purposes for years. And May convinced her that everything was going to be alright. She just needs to, change history, which is a pretty crazy level of planning. And that, my friends, is why they call it faith. And May said she kept it in the past, and Yo-Yo said she had lost it. Because you see, this deal with Caius, with the Kree in general, had to be done in order to have everything happen so they could go back and stop it. Now, at the end of the episode, the Kree woman, whose name I keep losing, is hunting them, so that'll be next week's episode. But now back to the Zephyr and what's going on with the rest of the team. So Gemma was dead, and Fitz was able to make a time machine, sort of. What he did was he found a way to resonate from one bit of the stone to other bits of the stone and activate it and pull them through space-time. Now, I'm sure that's going to be part of the explanation. Space and time are the same thing and are curved in on each other, and as such, if you can move through space, you can move through time. So it might even be the same monolith that moved them through space a couple seasons ago, although I doubt it. Although, what happens to that monolith after this very weird moment in history? For the record, anyone who follows my time travel stuff, this is a sawtooth snap coming. It's kind of the way you avoid a time paradox. You have to have a steady loop where point A leads to B, B leads to C leads to D, and D continues on. And as such, it just continues, and not forever. The sawtooth snap is what happens when the repeat never finishes, or the infinity loop is when it You know what? Watch a time travel video. I have one up. Maybe I'll link it down below if I remember. But in general, the problem is, did Daisy quake the world apart? And if she did, wouldn't the easy enough answer just be, hey, don't do that? Like, I guess killing her would have worked too, which was the other plan. And there's part of me that has to say, the people who thought that plan up didn't think it through too well. If you kill Daisy now, before she does it, all you've done is create a paradox, and you can't remember to kill her before she time travels if you didn't... You know what? Sorry, I'm putting way too much thought into this. Overall, I'm enjoying the episodes, though. And I have to say, I can't wait to see what happens with Caius next week. They're going to have to kick his butt and hopefully have some lead into what's going on next part of the series. For now, though, I'd love to hear your comments below. Let me know if you've been following any of this, or if this has gotten too confusing, or if it's just a fun time travel story so you don't care how it works. Also, I wouldn't mind a thumbs up and a share if you don't mind. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to build a community here. I just got up to where I could monetize these channels, so I was building towards 100 subscribers, because that's the next big milestone. But YouTube kind of pulled the rug out from under me, and I need 1,000 to be able to monetize again after February. Either way, I'm going to be happy with 100. When I hit 100, I'm going to give away a free Amazon gift card, so join so that you can be part of that video and part of that giveaway. For now, thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.